Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to show you 10 different do-it-yourself Christmas tree ornaments. These are all inspired by Pottery Barn and Crate & Barrel. First up on the list, snowflakes. The snowflake is an obvious traditional ornament or decoration for the holiday season. Here you can see a bunch of examples over the years that Pottery Barn has had to offer. The Pottery Barn snowflakes range from $9 to $20. But here are mine, and they're a lot more affordable. The snowflakes on the left came from the dollar store, so they were each $1. The one in the middle actually came in a pack of 10, so you get 10 of these for $1. And the snowflake on the right came from Michael's, which I actually purchased during a 70% off Christmas sale. Craft stores always have great sales. Check online or any of their apps. Typically you can find at least a 40 to 50% off an item when you purchase. You can see I have multiple styles to show you guys as far as snowflakes. They range from the white, glittery, classic style snowflake to more of a rustic or even industrial style. Like these here, this one's Pottery Barn selling for $13. I found one that was super similar from the dollar store. This is also a dollar store ornament that goes along with the same idea. I also picked this one up from Michael's during that sale, and I got this one for $2. So here I have them side by side for you to see. The top row is theirs and the bottom row is mine. Number 2, animals. Here are a few examples from Pottery Barn. You can see here there's a cute little pig, a reindeer with the lights attached to its antlers. They also have a bunch of other style reindeers as well as, I don't really know what this is, but this thing. And this little figure is Pottery Barn's idea of a polar bear. Now I'm going to show you mine. Here are examples of animal ornaments that I either made or purchased. The deer head and polar bear I made. The deer figure on the right I purchased from the dollar store. So now I'm going to quickly show you how you can create these animals as well. First you're going to need figurines. I picked up a polar bear. I also picked up a reindeer. The polar bear cost $1 and the reindeer cost $4. Of course you can use your coupons for these. I twist a hook at the top of each of these. That's how I'm going to attach it to the ribbon and tree. You can leave them as their natural coloring if you prefer, or if you want them to look more like the silver or Mercury Pottery Barn ones, then you're going to spray them with a metallic spray paint. These guys took about 2 layers of paint, make sure they're fully dried, but they should end up looking something like this. Then simply add the ribbon of your choice. I just use red and then hang it to your tree. Easy, right? Now for making the deer head ornament, I first picked up this glittery deer head figure from Michael's. It was in the picks section, also 70% off. It has this stem on it because it is in the floral arrangement section. You're going to simply take wire cutters and cut the stem off, leaving you with this beauty. Then, using the same idea, you're going to screw this hook into the top. Then attaching string or ribbon or twine, whatever you'd prefer, you can then attach it to your tree. This little guy looks expensive, but he's extremely affordable and simple to make. Number 3, glitter. I love glittery ornaments on a Christmas tree. I love the way that the lights bounce off these sequins, gems, and glitter. Here is an example that I purchased from the dollar store. This was just $1, and it looks extremely similar to the Pottery Barn one. So for $16, you could get one from Pottery Barn, or you could get 16 of these from the dollar store. It would also be super easy to make yourself if you had a white foam ball and glued glitter and gems onto the foam. Super easy to make. They really catch the light and look beautiful on a Christmas tree. Number 4 is Monogram. Here are 2 examples from Pottery Barn. One is a glittery letter, the other is this gold, red, and clear glass ball. And these are mine. Pretty similar, am I right? How, you ask? Let me show you. First, you're going to need a glass or plastic ball. You can get a 2-pack of these from the dollar store. Next, you're going to need the color and style lettering sticker of your choice. You can pick this up from any craft store. And I use a red ribbon. I'm first going to cut off the cheap little string that it's originally hanging from and replace this with our red ribbon. Next, you're going to place the sticker or stickers of your choice. I'm going to do my initial, so T, and place this as close to the center as possible, and simply press this onto the ornament. I love personalized, unique, and different ornaments. I think it's an awesome way to be sentimental as well as creative. You can really decorate a tree in any fashion. So something personalized, such as a monogram style ornament, is really nice not only for yourself, but also as a gift. And for the single glitter letter, I picked this up from Walmart for 80 cents. Number 5 is snow globes. This one's a little bit more in depth. You ready? These are all Pottery Barns. And these are all mine. So I'll show you step by step how you can make them too. First, you're going to need these plastic wine glasses. This is a 6-pack picked up from the dollar store. Next, you're going to need fake snow. There's multiple options you can use. This is frosty snow. It's basically crumpled up clear plastic. Then you're going to need this little guy. I got a pack of this from the dollar store. It was in the picture area or section. Next, you're going to need figurines. I got this guy from Michael's. For the last 2 weeks, they've had a Christmas sale up to 70% off. You can also use a regular figurine and apply glitter all over it if you can't find this exact one. Next, to create the base, I'm going to use a piece of foam board or cardboard. I just had this hanging around the house from a package that I had opened. Basically anything flat and semi-solid that your figurine can stand on. I traced a circle or the outline of the glass over top and then cut it out. Next, I'm going to use a hot glue gun and apply some of the fake snow over top of the base. You can also use Mod Podge for this. It's basically a layering process. I applied glitter and fake snow back and forth to get a few layers and build up the snow. I wanted to make sure I had a lot of glitter in there, that way the Christmas lights would reflect that on the tree. So here is my snowy base and little figurine. Hey little guy. And I just glued him right to the center. I wanted a bow for the top, so I'm going to use a piece of ribbon cut into 3 sections. I have a better breakdown and in-depth video on bow making. If you do have any questions about that, you can check out the link here and watch that after this video. Now my bow is done, I'm going to glue it to the top of the upside down wine glass. And then I'm going to glue the glass to the snowy base. So you should have something that looks like this. Of course, you can make this completely your own. You can use different ribbon to make a bow, also different figurines. You can really get creative with this. To get this to hang, I used a piece of red ribbon, overlapped it like so, and glued it to the top. I also used that same ribbon at the bottom. It'll make a cleaner looking finish or base. That way if you have any messed up cutting on the edges or any snow sticking out, basically any mess up, this is going to cover that. Boom! Snow globe number 1 is done. On to number 2. I'm going to quickly zoom through the next 2. They're a very similar idea, just small differences. So again, creating your base using the upside down wine glass. I also picked up a snowman figure and Santa figure during that 70% off sale. Apply the snow and glitter to the base, then your figure in the center, the glass over top, and you can finish it off on top and bottom with the ribbon and bow of your choice. I found a 20-pack of bows from the dollar store, literally 20 of these bad boys for $1. Cha-ching! So I use the twisty tie that it's already made with to attach it to the top. I then had little white and silver snowflake stickers on the outside of the glass. And for my base on this one, I used a silver piece of ribbon folded in half. And here's the last globe with the Santa, all the same steps. If you were to purchase the 4 Pottery Barn ones shown, it would cost you about $65. To make all 3 of mine, it'll only cost $12 total. I already owned a hot glue gun and glitter. You can definitely use crafts that you already have around the house to complete any of these ornaments. Number 6 is one of my favorites. This is Mercury. I've been a huge fan of this recently. Here are a few examples seen at Pottery Barn. They have these in multiple colors, but I'm a big fan of the silver and gold. They are selling a set of 6 for $35. They're beautiful, don't get me wrong, but you don't need to spend that amount of money. Here's mine. I'll show you how you can make your own. Here's what you're gonna need. Paper towels, glass or plastic ornaments, a spray bottle filled with half water and half vinegar, Rust-Oleum Mirror Effect spray paint, and then it's your choice if you want to also add gold. I preferred mixing the mirror and gold together. I already had the gold spray paint from another project. If you just want to use mirror or another metallic spray paint, that'll also work. So there's two ways you can do this. You're first going to apply a layer of the Mirror Effect spray paint on the outside. I recommend wearing gloves unless you don't mind scrubbing your hands after. Make sure that each spray paint layer is a thin layer. You can move the ball around to get the paint to spread. Then you're going to spray all over the paint with the water and vinegar mix. Then you're going to blot this with a paper towel. When you blot it with a paper towel, it's going to remove the bubbles of water and vinegar that pull some of the paint. That's going to create the antiqued, sort of like shattered Mercury look. Over top of that, you're going to apply the layer of the gold, and then again, spray with water, vinegar, and blot the excess. You can apply as many layers as you'd like. It is sort of a trial and error. No two are ever going to look the same, but they will give you the same effect. I found technique 1 to work better for me personally. I suggest you try both ways and see which one you prefer. Your other option is spraying the inside. So you're basically going to follow the same steps. You're going to spray the inside first with the Mirror Effect spray paint. Then you're going to apply the gold over top on the inside. Some of the paint is going to stick together and drip or fall, creating that cracked effect on the inside. So here are a bunch of pictures of the final product of all the ones that I made. It's a mixture of technique 1 and 2, but the final effect is super similar to Mercury and so cheap to make yourself. And just in case you haven't had enough Mercury, here's another Pottery Barn example, and one that I purchased from Michael's for $2. Pretty similar, but a lot more affordable. And honestly, I actually like the look of mine better. Number 7 is vintage and antique. So here are two different style ornaments that are pretty typical around the holiday season. The first is the antique bell. Here are two Pottery Barn examples. And here's mine. It only costs $1. It literally looks just like the first one, but a bit more rustic with the evergreen and pine cone garnish on top. I also found this pack of jingle bells at my local Home Goods for $5. It's a mix between glitter, matte bronze, and a glossy or shiny gold. And the second is the classic vintage red truck with the tree in the back. Here are two different examples from Pottery Barn. Each cost about $13. And here's mine. So here's how I made it. I got this Hot Wheels pack from Walmart for $4. Then I picked up this glossy red spray paint and a pack of 7 tree figures that were 70% off at my local Michael's. These are items I already own, but you're going to need a hot glue gun, some tape, and extra glue sticks. So here's what they would look like before painting them, but this is the idea. You're going to first tape off any area you don't want to spray red, so that would be the windshield and wheels. Then I'm going to cover this with the red spray paint. It honestly took about 4 layers to completely cover this. Be sure to let this dry before handling it. You can then remove the tape and hot glue the tree to the back of the truck. Then I glued a piece of twine to hang it from the tree, and you're done. So easy, so affordable, and with this pack of Hot Wheels, you can make multiple of these. Keep in mind when I'm doing the theirs and mine pricing, if I say ish at the end, it might be a little bit different depending on what you do or do not already own to use towards the project. Number 8 is plaid. Here is an example from Pottery Barn for about $8 per ball. So I have 2 cheaper examples to show you. The one on the right I purchased from Michael's during that sale. The one on the left I made, and here's how. First, you're going to need either a styrofoam ball or one of these clear ornaments. Both could be purchased at the dollar store. Then I used ribbon and cut this into smaller pieces that fit top to bottom. You're then going to glue this directly onto the ball layer by layer until it's completely covered. Then you're done. You can use any pattern or style ribbon to complete this project. Another simple way is to cut 2 giant strips. It's going to depend on the size of your ribbon, but 2 strips of this was large enough to cover the ball completely. Then a thin piece to cover around the top. You'll also need a small circular piece to cover the hole on top. Then using a red ribbon, I created this loop, which is how you will hang the ornament. Cut a slice in the middle of the top circle and pulled it through. Then you can glue this to the top. So now your finished product should look like this. If you're feeling extra crafty, you can add extra ribbon like I did on the sides for this one. It just gives it a little bit of extra detail. You can also combine different patterns together if you'd like. Number 9 is a couple other different styles I want to quickly show you. The first is the trumpet. You can make any musical instrument by using a figurine and spray painting it. Here's an example of tube. These are actually little kid figurines. They're plastic, but they have a trumpet included as well as various other instruments. You can simply spray paint these silver. You can make them glitter, you could leave them gold, and then hang it from your tree. Another example using the same technique would be the Eiffel Tower example seen here for $9 at Pottery Barn. Good Old Tube also has different structures around the world featuring the Eiffel Tower. You can spray paint this silver or any other color. I get mine from my local craft store, Michael's. You can pick them up at various other locations. I prefer Michael's because they always have at least a 50% off coupon to use, so really it would only cost you $5. I just want to give a special shout out to the $7 feather mushroom. Seriously. And then the last quick example for number 9 are glittery pine cones. So I got this silver glitter pine cone pack from the dollar store. All of these were included for $1, and then I just hot glue gunned a hook at the top to hang it. And then you got yourself a fancy pine cone. Number 10 is the last example, and these are stars. So Pottery Barn is playing me, trying to charge me $20 for this. $20 for one ornament? Nope. I basically got the same thing for $2 at Michael's for 70% off. And then I made this gold glittery one using another pick from Michael's in the floral section. I made this the same way as I made the deer head. So I cut off the wire that's attached, and then I looped a string at the top to hang it. And those are all of my recent do-it-yourself or cheaper alternatives to Pottery Barn and Crate and Barrel, etc. overpriced ornaments. I hope you guys enjoyed these ideas and try them out for yourself. If you have any other questions, be sure to comment below and read the description box. Don't forget to give a thumbs up if you enjoy my do-it-yourself videos. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. And as always, thank you for watching.